As the sun rises, Jacob, now Israel, limps into the future, injured in the struggle, for there are always losses in moving forward, scarred and shaped by all that has gone before, and strengthened by God, who accompanied him all of these days. He moves into the future. I propose that there is much in this story for this community of faith at this time in your history. In many ways, Fort Street stands at a crossroads right now. The crossroads of being church in the 21st century. The crossroads of a new pastor, your first woman head of staff. The crossroads of living into the current situations facing our country and this city, and how God is calling Fort Street to respond. It's not the first time you've been at a crossroads. A church with this long of a history has stood at crossroads many, many times before, listening for the call of God, figuring out the way forward, working together, struggling together to learn where God is calling. You know the Fort Street Presbyterian Church's rich history much better than I do at this point. But it's a history of a church who stayed in the city when others were fleeing to the suburbs. A history of social action and inclusion, of being an interracial and intercultural church when such a thing was nearly unheard of in Detroit, actually when such a thing was nearly unheard of in the entire country. You are known for great music, a strong, relevant worship. You have a reputation for engaging in mission and social justice, reaching out to the community for decades, supporting the open door that draws people from all over the metro area, those seeking opportunities to carry on Jesus' ministry, and those seeking support through difficult times. You involve yourselves in ecumenical and interfaith work and understanding, encouraging your children and youth to do the same. Your history is long, your history is rich, and as this church moves into the future, you will forever stand on the shoulders of everyone who has come before you, stand on the floor of all of the ministries that have grounded this community of faith for years and years, indeed for decades. On this day of new beginnings, every day of the past is present here in this moment with us and will always be. And this moment is a part of all that will follow as we move forward together. In moving into the future, and let's be really, really honest here, some struggling will be necessary. We may struggle with one another, we may struggle with God, most likely there will be some conflict along the way. But let me remind you of Jacob's story. The conflict and the struggle in this biblical account have positive results and take on very, very positive meanings. Jacob's conflicts and struggling are essential to the emergence of Israel. Israel the person, Israel the nation. I'm not making this up, it's what the text says. Conflict will happen, it's unavoidable, and it can be a good thing. What will make all the difference in the world is not the presence or absence of conflict, but how we deal with conflict when it comes, and I can assure you that it will. Here at Fort Street, we could stand at this crossroads, afraid of the past, unwilling to learn from it, unwilling to embrace its shaping force in the life of this community of faith. We could stand at this crossroads afraid of the future, allowing our fears and anxiety to keep us stuck. My hope, my fervent hope, is that we will look to the future and we will say confidently and with hope, bring it on. Because we know where we're going, we know where we've been. If we live and work together in real community, we can face whatever the future brings. We can move into the future with hope, with creativity, with integrity, just as Fort Street has faced all that has come before over these past 160 years. We can do this. Thanks be to God. Amen.